Welcome to this channel. Baruch haba b'Shem Yahuwah. Welcome, and today I'm going to do the last part of the in-depth study series, Love Not the World. Interesting study series, a lot of information. It gives you a new way of looking at what is happening today in the world, and it gives you this understanding based on scriptures. So the last part is part 11, and it's called Robbing the Usurper. Mashiach Yahusha came into the world to save sinners. This is stated in 1 Timothy 1:15. Since in the eternal purpose of Yahuwah, it is man who is to have dominion, it is natural and right that our compassion should be drawn out to those sinners. But this is not really happening on a great scale, because today, in the time frame that we are in, people are more concerned about themselves than about others, and we are not, in no way, shape or form are we actually doing what Mashiach Yahusha and thus Yahuwah has asked us to do. There's just a small hand of people whom is doing this. Notwithstanding anything said hitherto, we might feel that in this brief day of grace, the winning of souls to the Savior of the world is perhaps the supreme means available to us of robbing Hashatan of his spoils. Certainly, where man himself, our theme, we should give a big place at this point to the subject of soul winning. But we have dealt with evangelism already elsewhere. Instead, therefore, I propose, in closing these studies of the world, to take another and more materialistic area of Hashatan's dominion. And Hashatan, for many, better known as Satan, but Satan is actually not a name, it's a title or an office, because there are many Satans. And Hashatan in Hebrew, also known as H-E-L-E-L, but Hashatan is also a name for it. So, by way of practical illustrations of the art of despoiling the strong man, I revert to the field of finance. Money is opposed to the Most High Yah. The word of Yahuwah speaks of it as the mammon of unrighteousness. See for this Luke 16 verse 9. Since Yahusha said, "Make to yourselves friends by means of the mammon of unrighteousness," he clearly cannot mean to describe it as the mammon that you have obtained through unrighteous dealings. So, what is going on in this world? The money system, people, is an enslavement system. It is a control system. everything is about money. We have God, and we have actually a second God called money. And you can't go to any social platform and open it without being confronted with all sorts of agents, and thus minions of the dark, whom are promoting all sorts of money schemes in which they proclaim that you can be rich in just a few days. And multi-level marketing is one of them. There are many money schemes, many pyramidal schemes going on. And the sad part of it all is that these people who do Ponzi schemes, because that's what it's called, are now using the name of Yahuwah to do so. There's a guy on the internet called Jay Noland, also known as James Noland and James D. Noland. He is using Yahuwah's name for personal gain. He is having all sorts of plans which you can step in, and then you get all sorts of goodies for it. He proclaims that he has written his own book of scriptures. Well, we all know that everyone is copying, and they only set the names in a different name instead of English in Hebrew or in modern Hebrew. So beware of all these Ponzi schemes that are going on. This man is also doing this and is using the name of Yahuwah and is blaspheming this name for personal gain and to get as lot of money as possible. This man is also convicted for Ponzi scheme, so do not go into his channel. Truth be told, that it's called, but if you look on Jay Noland on YouTube, you will find his channel. Do not go into it, because this man is a false teacher, is leading the flock astray, and actually you can say that everything the word has been written about the last days is now unfolding. Many false shepherds are arising, many false prophets are arising, many false teachers are coming around the corner. So be aware of what is going on. And people, it's all about money, and these are all agents of the dark to lure as many as possible people into it. And Yahuwah warned us that even the elect shall be fooled. So I want to say to all those who claim to be the elected ones, don't be fooled. Alright, this was something I needed to say too. Thank you, Ruach HaKadosh, for saying this. He is therefore saying that the mammon itself is unrighteous. Yes, because Yahuwah says in his own words, you can't serve two masters. Or you are with Yahuwah, or you are with Hashatan, but you can't have dinner with both. You can't go into the restaurant of Hashatan and have a nice dinner with Yahuwah there. What is being brought before us here is not the unrighteous means by which money is procured, nor the unrighteous use to which money is put, but the unrighteous character of money. Money in its essential character is evil. We talk of clean money and dirty money, but in Yahuwah's sight there's only dirty money. The man who knows Yahuwah knows the character of money. He knows that money in itself is evil. If you would test the character of anything, You only need to inquire whether that thing leads you to Yahuwah or away from Yahuwah the Most High. Money invariably leads away from the Most High Yahuwah. Yahusha lays down clearly in Luke 16 verse 13 the principle that it is impossible to serve Yahuwah and Mammon, though I think that even without his statement most of us would be convinced that this is so, for experience tells us that Yahuwah and Mammon are never on the same side. Mammon is always set over against the Most High Yahuwah. Of course, it would be possible to interpret Yahusha's words, better said, more widely, and to see Mammon as representing everything in general that opposes itself to Yahuwah the Most High. And I also must say that everything what you buy in this world, what is being produced in this world, is actually trash. Everything that is produced by Yahuwah has long-lasting life. But everything that is produced by Hashatan is short-lived and is made cheap and is trash. Deliberately made to just being used for several days, several weeks, several months, and a year or maybe 2 years, and then you need to throw it away. But the Apostle Paul helps us to pinpoint money as the means the world uses most successfully to draw us away from the Most High Yahuwah. They that desire to be rich, he says, fall into a temptation and a snare and many foolish and hurtful lusts, such as drown men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil, which some reaching after have been led astray from the faith and have pierced themselves through with many sorrows. 1 Timothy verse 6, chapter 6, verse 9 to 10. In other words, if anything can lead us astray from Yahuwah the Most High, money will. And everything is focused on money, and that is why Hashatan has deliberately destroyed the family unit and made women and children go to work, all about money, all about taxation. Taxes, people, is nothing more than ordinary theft. Insurances, people, is nothing more than ordinary theft. But you don't want to see it. You are still participating in theft. You are allowing yourselves to be robbed every day. Every single moment of your life you allow to be robbed by Hashatan, by obeying him instead of Yahuwah, the Most High, for many known as God. The essence of the world is money. Whenever you touch money, you touch the world. The question arises, how can we take a thing which we know assuredly to be of the world and yet not become involved with the world system? Well, that is almost not done anymore and not to do anymore, because due to the new prison system that humanity happily has allowed to be built, and They themselves are the builders of the third prison system that is known as the so-called electric kingdom, and the false going green agendas and the false climate nonsense, which is nothing more than a lie, and which is cleverly used by Hashatan to lure as much as possible people into his agendas, to create the electric kingdom, to roll out all sorts of abominable technologies to have the human race imprisoned. And you need to be careful what type of technologies you are bringing into your home. It is already so far, and I want you to go to Rumble and search for Sabrina Wallace. This woman is a woman that is warning people for all the technologies that are being rolled out and have been rolled out so far. And she already says, because she has worked for years in, you can say, the lion's den, or better said, the spider's web. So she knows, you can say she has a lot of information that not many people have. And the information she has is shocking information. Because it seems that since 1995 people are already being tracked and traced. And she said that it's all about the biofield of the human body, also known as the auric field, and in that field there's already a lot of biosensors being spotted. And these biosensors, it is through these biosensors they can hack your body, actually, because what people do not know, what people do not want to acknowledge, is that we already breathing in all sorts of technologies. We are eating it, we are drinking it without us knowing it, because the evil in this world never informed us about anything. And this lady states that they already possess such a high advanced technology that we do not know of, and that this is already for more than 400 years going on. It is interesting to listen to her. You get a whole new idea about things as IP addresses, MAC addresses. It all goes back to your body. Your body is a living antenna right now, and that is why they have brought into the realm now, around the earth, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of satellites, because it's you can say a satellite for each person. Everything is now being tracked and traced. You are already hooked into a cloud system, and I know this because me myself, I've had a vision in 2016 where I saw a huge super computer that was so huge, actually not to describe, but out of this computer came black, you can say, drats, and at the end of each one was a human. And this whole idea of blockchain, no one knows what blockchain exactly is. It is not without a reason called block dash chain, because it's a chain and a block that is you, because they are placing you. You are, most people whom have taken the sticky pricky, they are now cubed in a cube system called blockchain. This is a personal cube that is linked onto a chain, and it is a chain of all cubes, and this one thread contains hundreds of cubes, and at the end it goes to a enormous supercomputer, and that supercomputer is collecting all the data from all one line of cubes. This data, people, is being used by demons. This data is being used by the spiritual realm, by the evil and dark forces in the spiritual realm, to be updated about you, so they can advance their war strategy towards you and against you. You have no clue that the war is right under your nose, not in the outer world. That's all distraction. It's about time that you wake up, people, and that you are going to acknowledge the warfare that is going on in the spiritual realm, that you are going to acknowledge the existence of the spiritual realm, that you are going to acknowledge that the spiritual realm contains a lot of evil and darkness, and that you inform yourselves about all these war strategies that are going on there, that you inform yourselves about witches and warlocks and so on in such a way. Ask the Most High Yahuwah to teach you in what is going on in the spiritual realm, and to teach you in what spiritual warfare actually is. And also ask Yahuwah the Most High what the spiritual warfare is that is being played against you, and he will give it to you. He will show it to you. And the whole problem with money is that it has enslaved and captivated people all over the plane. How can we handle and do business with money, the most worldly of worldly things, and not in doing so become implicated with Hashatan? Still more to the point, since nothing can be done today without paying for it. So that is the cleverness of Hashatan. He is enforcing each one of us to pay for everything. If we don't pay, you don't get it. That is something we need to see, people, that it is nothing more than a very cleverly created system to keep you in bondage to the satanic world. Because you are living in a satanic world. How is it possible for us to take money, that thing which is a supreme factor in building up the kingdom of the anti-Mashiach? Because that is why money is used for, to build the anti-Mashiach kingdom, and it's almost at its end, and use it to build up the kingdom of Mashiach. The widow who dropped her mite into the temple treasury did something so acceptable to the Most High Yahuwah that she received from him special commendation. What in fact she did was just this: she took something out of the kingdom of Satan and contributed it to the kingdom of the Most High Yahuwah. And Yahusha approved. So how let us ask ourselves in such how such a transfer can be made. How can we do the same as that woman did? Taking something out of the kingdom of Hashatan and contributed it to the kingdom of the Most High Yahuwah. And to be very honest, Hashatan has, in my eyes and in my opinion, no kingdom. I call it his world, that's it. The word kingdom, he has no right to that word. There's just only one kingdom, and that's the kingdom of Yahuwah. So how is it possible to take money, which in its character is essentially unrighteous, and with it build up the kingdom of Yahuwah? How can you make sure that all connection between the world and the money in your pocket has been severed? Do you dare to say that none of the money in your possession figures in Satan's books? On every Roman denarius there was an image of Caesar. In Yahush's words, all such coins are Caesar's. How could the connection between Caesar and that coin be severed? Or being severed? Money is a thing of the world. It is an essential part of the world system. How then can it be taken out of the world that claims it and be devoted to Yahuwah the Most High for his use? In the Old Testament times, a rigid principle was laid down. No devoted thing that a man shall devote unto the Master, Yahuwah, of all that he hath, whether of man or beast or of the field, of his possessions, shall be sold or redeemed. Every devoted thing is most holy unto Yahuwah the Most High. This is stated in Leviticus 27 verse 28. In other words, there is no true devotion without destruction. If in those days a sheep was devoted to the Most High Yahuwah, it was not placed before him to remain there as a living sheep and to bring forth lambs. It was placed before him to be sacrificed. It shall certainly be put to death. Its destruction was the sign of its acceptance. All money that is truly devoted to the Most High Yahuwah must come under the principle of destruction. That is to say, it must cease to exist as far as the world is concerned, and it must cease to exist also as far as I am concerned. When our Yahuwah the Most High commended when our Master Yahusha, better said, yes, they use LORD, and they use it for both, and the J-man and the GOD, so that's very confusing. So my apology. When our Master Yahusha commended the widow for putting her 2 coins into the treasury, he observed that she had put in her bios, that is her life. She of her want did cast in all that she had, even all her living. This is stated in Mark 12, verse 44. Many people just put money into the treasury of the Most High. She put her life in with her money. In other words, when that money went out of her possession, her life went out with it. In giving her 2 coins, she gave her all. So, what we can understand here, every time if you pay a bill, no matter what type of bill it is, you lose a part of your life. You give your life energy to Hashatan. Let that sink in. You die for the wrong one. If your money is to come out of the world, then your life will have to come out of the world too. You cannot keep yourself back and contribute anything significant to Yahuwah. You cannot send your money out of the world at all. You can only bring it out of the world. Thus, it is no easy matter to transfer money from the realm of Hashatan to the realm of Yahuwah. It involves travail. To convert souls from Hashatan to Yahuwah is in fact easier than to convert money from Hashatan to the Most High Yahuwah. By the grace of the Most High Yahuwah, men and women may be one to Him, whether or not we ourselves are devoted in any other sense. But this is not so with money. It takes great spiritual power to convert our shekels, which in their character are evil, into shekels of the sanctuary. Money needs converting as truly as men need converting. And the money can. I believe, be made anew, if in a rather different sense. As truly as souls can be made anew, but your bringing of an offering of money to the treasury will not in itself change the character of the money you offer. Because that is what we do not realize. Every time if we pay a bill, we sacrifice ourselves to Hashatan. And no matter if you pay for groceries, your rent, for whatever it is, you sacrifice yourselves. Especially if you are not yet immersed in the name of Yahuwah Yahusha Mashiach Elohim. Unless your life goes out with your money, it cannot be released from the kingdom of Hashatan and transferred to the kingdom of Yahuwah. The spiritual value of your work for Yahuwah will largely depend on whether or not the money you handle has been delivered from the world system. I ask you, has it? Can you claim that there is no money in your hand that belongs to the world? Are you able to say now that your money is no longer a part of the cosmos, for it has all been converted? Are you willing to tell the Most High Yahuwah, I will convert all the money I earn by labor and all the money I receive by gifts, that it all may be thine. To Paul, the principle was very plain. We want you, not yours. Of the Macedonian saints who, out of their poverty, contributed so liberally. He said that first they gave their own selves to the Most High Yahuwah. Then they gave of their money. 2 Corinthians chapter 8 verse 5. Paul had his training in the Old Testament, where the consecration of material gifts was always connected with the consecration of those who brought the gifts. His reasoning may have had its roots there. For it may sound startling, but it is true that Yahuwah the Most High has a limited supply of money, whereas Satan's supply is unlimited. Well, as far as there are humans on this planet, yeah, but I truly believe that Satan's supply is actually also limited, because the resources from which money is made, that is Yahuwah's, because that belongs to Yahuwah. And Yahuwah can renew that. Hashatan can't. You wonder perhaps how this statement can be reconciled with that other one, that all the silver and gold are his. Yet our Mashiach, Yahusha, says that there is that which belongs to the Most High Yahuwah and that which belongs to Caesar. Ultimately, no doubt, all material things belong to the Most High Yahuwah as creator. Yes, because all things are made from the resources that he has given us. So what you can say is that Hashatan is abusing on great scale all the resources that Yahuwah have created and has created for us. But we have become so blind and so numb that we do not want to see anymore that Hashatan is, with our permission, you can say, abusing on daily basis and on great scale the resources that Yahuwah the Most High has given to us. Because the gold belongs to Yahuwah, silver belongs to Yahuwah, every tree belongs to Yahuwah. So coins are made of gold and silver, a bit of copper, but these are all materials that belong to Yahuwah. So now you can understand why the money system has been started, because Hashatan saw it as an ultimate way to lure people into his agendas of daily abuse of Yahuwah's creation. Let that sink in, because that is what we all are doing. That is what we all are participating in. Don't you think it is a bit weird that every year the garden centers have the same trees, plants, fruit trees and fruit bushes and whatsoever, all for the sake of money, all for the sake of Hashatan's bank account? That all is being produced. When are your eyes are going to be opened that you are a participant in the destruction of Yahuwah's creation by allowing all this to happen? Because you are the one who doesn't want to take care of a plant that is, in your idea, almost dying, but doesn't have to, because if it gets more tender love and care, the plant can relive again. I have had many plants in my life, you can say, saved, whom were actually almost, you know, ripe for the garbage bin. But due to the fact that I always have something, no, I'm going to give it a second life, they came back. I have saved many plants. And even bushes and trees too. But the majority of people nowadays, as soon as a plant is not giving its flowers anymore, it's being thrown away as if it is nothing. People have no clue how cold and heartless they have become. And I think it's about time that we are getting awake to that dramatic fact. I see for more than 10 years now around me people whom are cold, soulless and heartless. The life spark in many people is already gone. I literally see dead people around me whom are programmed in such a way that they don't even know and have a clue of that they are being programmed to stay alive for the agendas of Hashatan, for the coming of Hashatan on his throne to represent himself as so-called Yahuwah, which of course he isn't. So wake up, I would say. But the amount of money in Yahuwah's treasury today is limited by the number of people who are devoted to him. If I had lived in the Old Testament times, I could have calculated immediately the amount of money in the sanctuary. I would have inquired the total number of children of Yasharal and reckoned half a shekel of silver for the redemption of each of them. So see Exodus chapter 30, verse 11 to 16. To that I would have added 5 shekels per head for the redemption of each of the firstborn of Yasharal, in excess of the Levites. See the book of Numbers, chapter 3, verse 39 to 51. And then to these two amounts I would have added the valuation according to the shekel of the sanctuary, put upon each individual, who of his free will devoted himself to the Most High Yahuwah. See for this Leviticus 27 verse 1 to 8. Yes, it is the number of Yahuwah's people that determine the amount of Yahuwah's money. The margin of wealth in Yahuwah's treasury is based on the number of people devoted to him. There, then, is a vital question for each one of us to answer. Does the money I am touching today represent shekels of the sanctuary or the mammon of unrighteousness? And also, what is of importance, on what do you spend your money? Or what type of things are you spending your money? That says also a lot. Whenever I receive $1 or whenever I earn $1, let me make sure that that dollar is instantly converted from world currency into the currency of the sanctuary. Money can be our destruction, but money can also be our protection. That is this double-sidedness of money. Do not despise money. Its value is too real for that. it can be of great account to the Most High Yahuwah if you yourself come heart and soul out of the world. So that is why you also have to do immersion in the name of Yahuwah Yahusha Mashiach Elohim. And if you do so, then you will experience a huge changement in your spending behavior. And that's what I see too. The money I spend is spent at things that is actually Yahuwah related. It's the same if you buy a domain name. What type of domain name are you using? With how are you building a website? Is that website devoted to the Most High Yahuwah? And are you only placing there things to articles, information, studies, whatever, that is inspiring and uplifting Yahuwah's people? And each one that comes to it that maybe wants to convert him or herself to the Most High Yahuwah. Is your website in service of the Most High Yahuwah? Does it contain information that whomever is visiting the website, if it is a stranger, a remnant, a Gentile, or one of the children of Yasharal, and so one of the children of Yahuwah, that they come in touch with information that can help them to uplift them in their spirit, in their soul, in their heart, in their mind, and bring them closer to the Most High Yahuwah. So that is also of importance. If you build a website, how are you building the website? To whom is the website connected to? And the information, the content on the website, is it all related to Yahuwah? Is the website built to help your fellow brothers and sisters to come back to the Most High Yahuwah again? And if so, then the money you spend to buy that domain name, to buy the yearly service, you know, that the website can function, then that money is actually in service of Yahuwah the Most High, because you have devoted it all to the Most High Yahuwah. The website is in service of the Most High Yahuwah. So that's how it works too. Then you can, if Yahuwah so wills it, bring many precious things out of the world with you. When the Israelites came out of Egypt, they brought away much treasure with them. And that's the same with the coming Exodus that is on hand. We are promised that we wouldn't leave our that we wouldn't leave the nation in which we are captivated empty-handed. So we will take out of the nation Yahuwah says to us that we need to take out. And by taking that out, the nation will fall, in that's for sure. And with it, we take out a lot of things out of the world that are made from elements, minerals and metals and so forth, that come from the resources Yahuwah himself has created for us. And these Yashrulites, actually they plundered the Egyptians, and the spoil they carried away with them was to construct the tabernacle, because they, you know, Yahuwah told them to ask each and every Egyptian to give its silver and its gold and everything that was of value. So they did, and Yahuwah of course did something so that the Egyptian people would give it just like that, without struggling and so on. So they give it, and the Israelites left Egypt and took all the gold and all the silver with them. But all that gold and silver was later on needed for the building of the Yahuwah's Sukkot, or tabernacle, or booth, or tent. So eventually, that what the Egyptians had stolen from the house of Yahuwah came back to Yahuwah again. And this will happen again, because all those people whom are captivated, all Yahuwah's children whom are captivated in the nations where they are in now, they will be robbed. And these nations will fall because of the fact that there's nothing left anymore for them, for those that are part of the nations. So we get a rehearsal of Egypt, actually. And all that we take out of the world will have a new purpose in the kingdom of Yahuwah, and will be converted into Yahuwah's principle and will. Some too, we recall, went to construct a golden calf and was lost to Yahuwah, the Most High. But when Yahuwah's people left Egypt, the tabernacle, at least in its materials, left Egypt with them. Egypt, or Egyptian gold, silver, copper, linen, all was converted and contributed to the sanctuary of the Most High Yahuwah. So you can ask the Most High Yahuwah how you can do so. How can you spend money in such a way that it is converted and spent in alignment with the Most High Yahuwah, so that it actually comes to the kingdom of Yahuwah? If you can find that reality in the Old Testament times, how much higher still must be the standard set in the New. The New Testament key to all finance is that we hold nothing to ourselves. Give, and it shall be given unto you. Those were our Master's words. Luke 6, verse 38. And not save, and ye shall grow rich. And that's the whole idea about saving accounts. Shaitan has fooled people in this idea, in this program, to save money. Yeah, you better can have another account where you put money on for as savings, because you never know if your washing machine, gets out of order, or something else happens in your life and then you need the money. But I always have felt as a child the ridiculousness of saving, because I saw that it was blocking the free stream of the money flow. The more people started to save and started to fall prey for this cleverly thought idea of saving, the more obstruction came in the money flow. And the more selfish people became too, because savings is also feeding your fear of not having enough, feeding your fear of not, what if the washing machine collapses right now and then I don't have the money to buy me a new one or have it repaired. So we need to see behind all the things that we are participating in, with what purpose are they truly created? So we need to go back to the principle, what Yahusha taught us when he was on earth here, and actually Yahuwah, is to give. So that is to say, the principle of divine increase is giving, not storage. Yahuwah the Most High requires of every one of us proportionate and not just random giving. He desires, that is to say, giving that is not subject merely to the whim of the moment, but that it is the fruit of a definite covenant reached with Him about the matter and stuck to. This is because the real secret of spoiling Satan is, as we saw, personal dedication. So we need to find out in prayer and in meditation with the Most High Yahuwah, that we ask Him to help us to make us come back again in freely giving to one and another, and so that the money system will be converted into working for the kingdom of the Most High Yahuwah. For us to be redeemed from the world and not as a consequence offer ourselves to the Most High Yahuwah is an utterly impossible thing. Ye are not your own, for ye were bought with a price. 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 19 and 20. It matters not whether we follow a profession or trade that brings us an income from the world, or occupy ourselves solely in preaching the word and depend for our sustenance upon the gifts of Yahuwah's people. Well, many people are not fond to give to others what is known as donation. Not many are doing so, actually. It is sad to see this, but it is so. There's only one road before us, not two. We are all equally dedicated to the Most High Yahuwah, and we are all His witnesses. It is simply not true that preaching the Besorah, or Yahuwah's word, in itself is clean and business unclean, so that those who engage in the latter must become so tainted as to be of less account to the Most High Yah. What matters is simply that the Most High Yahuwah and not our business must be the center of our lives. So actually what is stated here, the more we devote ourselves to the Most High Yahuwah, the more time we offer up to Him, and that's actually what He wants. That is why it is being said that He needs to be on the first place, and then the rest comes. Not your family, not your children, not your partner. No, the Most High Yahuwah. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. 1 John chapter 2 verse 15. You have an anointing from the Holy One and live by it. Give yourself to the Most High Yahuwah. Live for Him, holy and utterly. See to it that where you personally are concerned, the things of this world are scored off Satan's books and transferred to Yahuwah's account. For the world's passeth away, and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of the Most High Yahuwah abideth forever. Wow. Yeah, it's an interesting teaching, this last teaching, and interesting words of wisdom. It's a deep message that is in it. I need to reread this and re-listen even myself to all these videos again of this series, because there's a lot of information in it, and every time when you hear it again you will hear different things, because it works like this. Every time you hear, you touch another layer in yourself and also another layer in your consciousness, and then you see the things and understand the things from a new level of understanding and seeing. Alright, thank you so much for listening, and if you like this content, please share it with as many as possible brothers and sisters. This also counts for all the other in-depth study series that Yahuwah and I have uploaded the last 2.5 weeks. Share that content too. Subscribe yourself to this channel, because there's a lot of interesting study information coming between now and the coming months. So also something about faith from faith and the Holy Spirit, or Ruach HaKodesh, and reality. It's also an interesting study topic. So there is a lot coming. Also there will come a whole in-depth study about what it means to be a minister of Yahuwah's word, and there will be a study that will be, I think, 20 parts. Yeah, round about that. That's a beautiful in-depth study too. So stay tuned by subscribing yourselves to this channel, and it would be nice, very nice, if you could help me by doing a donation. It's not that much what you have to do. Know that each time you do a donation, you get a tremendous baruching over you to help your fellow sister, in this case, to continue with the yeah, you can say service ministry that I am doing in and on behalf of Yahuwah the Most High, to help his children and to help each and every stranger, remnant, and those Gentiles who truly want to convert themselves into the Most High Yahuwah, his way of righteousness, his commandments, and his way of living. Alright, thank you so much again, and I wish you all a Baruch day. And do not forget to praise the Most High Yah in all the things you do and say. Baruch haba b'shem Yahuwah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. See you next time.